So today's video is going to be something super exciting. I am reviewing and demoing a lot of the new products from MAC's new studio line. They're shade extensions of foundations, the brand new Studio Fix 24-Hour Wear Concealer, and then the new contour palettes, as well as new shades in the concealer palettes. So yeah, that is what I'm doing for you today. I hope you enjoy. Basically, first I'm gonna go through demoing all the products for you, and then as usual at the end I'm going to give a quick little review on how I feel. Hopefully this video isn't a million hours long, probably will be, but yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing for you today. I hope you enjoy the video. Towards the last half of the video I forgot to turn my external microphone back on, so the audio goes from nice to kind of not so nice, but you know, it is what it is. You still hear me, it's still fine. It's just not as crispy as the audio is right now. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the video. And this video is primarily MAC. It's kind of like 99% MAC. There's only one product I use that wasn't from MAC. Because I was, you know, reviewing the whole new studio line, I decided I was just gonna do like a full face of MAC. So that's what I did. So yeah, let's just get right into the video and show you these products and how I feel about them. My camera's being super weird right now. I have no idea what's going on, so hopefully this works. I keep having to like change these settings. I don't know what's happening. Okay, so I already kind of started and then my camera's being funky, so I'm gonna just tell you, all I've done so far is place down some MAC Hyper Real Foundation in the shade Gold Effects, and this I am using as my makeup base. So I'm just going to blend this in. As I said in my last video, this is a really nice kind of rich texture. I love the way it feels on my skin, and I like it under foundation. It's very nice. So I'm just blending this all over. And then for the foundation today, I'm gonna be using MAC Studio Fix Fluid, and I got the new shade NC38. I think this is gonna be a great color for me when I'm like freshly spray tanned, but right now I'm a little light, so I'm going to mix NC20 with the NC38 to give me like, because right now NC20 might be perfect, even a little dark, but I'm just going to mix this with the NC38 just a little bit to give myself a little more color, because I'm kind of pale right now, so I'm gonna pretend like I've been fake tanning or like I've been going to the beach or something, or actually going outside. All right, so I mixed that together. Now I'm gonna apply it with a Morphe G2 brush, which I love for foundation. I feel like I get a very full coverage with this brush. I like brushes like this, like the synthetic blendy type face brushes, but I prefer the ones like this that are a little more loose with the bristles, because I feel like it blends in better than the bristles that are really like firm. Does anyone else love the smell of Studio Fix? If you've used it, you know it's got that like paint smell. I hate when foundations are fragranced, like with flowers or stuff like that. I prefer just it to smell kind of like whatever the ingredients are in it and whatever they smell like, you know. And I don't know, I really love the smell. I know some people don't like it, but anytime I put on Studio Fix, it's such like a nostalgic, like you smell it and you're like, the paint fumes. I love it. It's not that bad, but I don't know, I like it. So nothing new to report with the NC38, other than I think MAC now has like 60 some colors of Studio Fix Fluid. That's like pretty sure that's like the biggest shade range of any makeup company, 60 some colors. I know MAC has had like 40 something colors and around 50 colors for a couple years now. And now we just extended, like they just sent it even more to 60 or so. So yeah, I'm really excited. Now there's like literally almost every little in-between color. Obviously not every, but like there's so many more in-between colors now. I'm excited because I like this foundation a lot, and it literally will match like anybody now. So now we are trying something very exciting. These are the new Studio Fix 24-Hour Smooth Wear Concealer. And I got 3 shades. I got NC10, NC20, and NC35. Because for me personally, this will kind of help me like with a good shade range based on, depending on my like fake tan and where I am with that at any given time. So these will work really well for me. So I'm going to take NC20 under my eyes. And then even though I don't need it, just for fun and to be extra because I just want to use them all. I'm going to take NC30, NC35 around my chin because I did break out a lot recently. And then I'm going to take the NC10 just like right there in the inner corner and layer it up on top just to add some brightness there on the inner corner. So one of the negatives I've seen about this product is people saying it dries too fast. So we will see. So this is the NC35 and I'm just putting that on my chin to try to add a little coverage. Now these concealers do smell exactly like Studio Fix. So they have that lovely paint smell that, again, I'm obsessed with. So I don't mind that at all. To each their own, whatever you like and you don't like. And now I'm taking the NC10 just right there a little bit on the inner corner to add like a pop of brightness. This NC10 is so white. Like it's on the verge of being white. All right, so let's take a look up close. So up close and personal, it does have like a not matte finish and not dewy finish. It's like right there in the middle for sure. I think in particular for me, I like the way it's sitting on my skin. It sits kind of, I mean, no differently than a lot of other concealers. I don't like notice anything too different and crazy. It didn't dry too fast for me, but again, I didn't like put on 10 different colors all over my face and then like wait 5 minutes and then finally blend it out. So that might be why mine blended in. I just kind of put it on and blend it out. Like I feel like that's how a normal person would put it on and blend it out also. On my face, it really did help to cover. Now that Studio Fix covered super well to begin with, but this definitely did bump it up just a little bit and it does blend right in with the Studio Fix foundation. So far so good. I will say that it's like almost completely full coverage, but it definitely isn't completely full coverage, if that makes sense. So like this would be more like, I think this would be great for like a more wide range of people because it's like I think you could add more to get a very full coverage look. But if you just did one layer, it's going to really nicely even you out without being too much. I would say this might be just like a pinch less coverage than something like Prolong Wear concealer. Prolong Wear would definitely be more coverage. In terms of creasing, it's definitely creasing a little bit right under my eye here, but that's not something that just happens. That is like just now happening with this concealer. That happens to me with every concealer. So I can't really say if this creases more or less. It's kind of creasing the same for me as everything else. So I'm now going to go into the new Sculpt and Shape Contour Palette. So these are pretty much, I'm pretty sure all of them are permanent. I do think Cream might be brand new and just in this palette, but correct me if I'm wrong. I have had most of these throughout time, but I think right now I actually only have Bone Beige because I ran out of Emphasize and I don't think I ever bought Taupe. I can't remember if I ever have. I always use it when I'm at work, but I can't remember. Don't think I ever bought Sculpt. I have Accentuate, but I have no clue where it is, so I haven't used it in years. So for me personally, when I was trying to convince myself that this wasn't a stupid purchase for me because I didn't need it, but whatever, I said to myself, oh, see, I only have Bone Beige. I need them all then. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to take Cream and Accentuate. I'm going to mix them together and then I'm going to use that to set my under eye concealer. And I'm using another Morphe G2. Okay, so we are all set and I am going to just take a little bit of Emphasize. Now, one thing to remember about Emphasize, it's just like this in the palette, but it's always been like this. Emphasize has a little bit of a glow to it. It's kind of like a very subtle satin finish powder. So just keep that in mind if you're thinking about getting it because it will kind of give you a reflective look and kind of glow a little bit. But I don't mind that. I kind of like it. So I'm going to take just a little bit of that and just dab that over top of the under eye, because I didn't want to go full saturated with Emphasize and get too shiny, but I do want just like a little bit of that extra pop of like brightness. And then I'm going to mix Emphasize and Cream, the two here, and I'm just going to use those very sparingly in the center of my face just to brighten up the center. Fabulous. So now I'm going to set the rest of my face. I am going a little more full coverage and full on with this look because I do want a very like kind of dramatic look for the most part. So I'm going to take this guy here. This is my MAC Studio Fix powder in the shade NC30, and very, 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 very lightly taking this around the rest of my face that I haven't put any powder on yet, and then also blending that around the edges of the other powder I put on. But it just makes your skin look absolutely flawless, and like it's like a very snatched kind of look. I feel like I sound like a mom when I say that. I feel like it doesn't flow when I say it. I'm like, I don't know, a Midwestern white mom when I say snatched. Snatched. I don't know. I'm gonna go back into our little palette here, and I'm going to first mix taupe and Sculpt. So taupe, I'll kind of show you swatches of the 3 contours just so you can see the difference. And I'm terrible at swatches. We already know this, but I'm gonna try my best. So this is taupe, this is Sculpt, and this is bone beige, the end one. So basically, as you can see, taupe is more of like a gray brown. That's not too dark, not too light. Sculpt is a deeper kind of true brown contour. And then bone beige, it's more of like a pinky kind of undertone. So bone beige is probably my favorite contour on lighter skin tones, or at least one of my favorite contours on lighter skin tones. It looks so good. It looks so good and it blends so amazing. I use that constantly on brides because it just looks like so fabulous and blended and amazing. So this is what I'm gonna do. First, I'm going to take, like I said, taupe and Sculpt, and I'm gonna mix them together. And I'm using a Morphe M530. There is a little bit of kick up in the pans. It's nothing crazy. I always compare things to Anastasia eyeshadows because they're literally the worst. It's nothing even close to that. But you do just get like the tiniest bit of powder in there. Definitely more than the singles. Like I have the singles that you can buy just by themselves. It's definitely a little more kickback than those, but still not a lot. So I'm gonna take this brush and just contour my face with these 2 shades first. I'm going to take a MAC 286 and a little bit of taupe. This is the more gray toned one and the very like the lightest of the 3 contours. And I'm going to use this to contour my nose a little bit, or at least attempt to. I know I said in one of my previous videos, I suck at nose contouring, especially on myself. So we're going to go with it. But this one is definitely the best one because it's the softest. So if I F this up, it won't look as obvious. And then I'm just gonna go over with my brush just to make sure it's all blended and soft as possible. Okay, and then I'm going to take the shade Bone Beige, and what I'm going to do is sort of layer this on top of the other 2 shades, but a little closer to like on my cheek, because this is a little warmer. This shade is going to give me some warmth because I'm not going to use any blush today. I'm going for a very like monochromatic brown look with all the products I'm using today from the new studio line. So I wanted to go monochromatic and not use any blush. So as you can see, this is just because it's a little bit of a more pinky undertone, it just gives a little color to your face and a little bit more warmth. I also find when I'm doing brides, as soon as I get this color on their face and kind of blend it in, skin and blending in general is one of my favorite things to do when I do makeup on other people. And whenever I use this on a bride and I just start like blending this in, I feel like the whole face just looks like so blended and buttery. It's really hard to describe, but this color is absolutely one of my favorite colors ever. And the one in the palette is just like the single one that you could get by itself. Okay, so that looks literally fabulous. I'm obsessed with that. So verdict with this so far is perfect. It's amazing. I love it. It's very convenient. I love the colors they chose for this. I love that it has a giant mirror. This is fabulous. And I really like it. So these are A++ for me. And the deeper one is truly really deep. So deep skin tones will be able to use it and it will look stunning on you guys. Okay, so now let's go into the eyes. So obviously nothing with the studio line was eyes that came out. It was all just face products. However, MAC did come out with this new Studio Conceal and Correct palette. I have all the other palettes, and then they came out with this guy and another one. I didn't get the other one because I didn't think I'd use it as much, but I might get it just to have it in my kit. But this particular one is the Extra Deep, and it's got 6 colors. Let me just kind of go through them. So you have yellow brown, light brown, red brown, and brick red, and cool brown, and blue black. So these are all very, very deep shades of brown, as well as a black, which it's a little, I've already kind of touched these. The black is a little more sheer. All the other ones are extremely full coverage. The black, though, is definitely a little more sheer because I'm assuming this is meant to be a mixer, not an actual concealer. It's more of like a mixer to deepen any of the other shades or any of your other shades you have, or as a contour for a very, very, very deep skin tone. This would work amazing as a cream contour. I have never seen any makeup palette from any other company as dark as this one. Like, this is the darkest I've ever seen, and I'm very excited to have this in my kit so that I can service, you know, anyone and everyone. I could before, but it's nice that I won't have to find little things to mix together. I'll already have a super nice deep palette. So what I'm going to do today is I'm actually, obviously because these will not match my skin tone, I'm going to use these as eyeshadow base. I will definitely use this both as a concealer for deep skin tones, but also as an eyeshadow base. So that's what I was going to showcase it for today. So I'm going for just like, again, a brown look. I want to keep everything really brown and simple. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this shade right here, which is cool brown. And I'm taking this on a base shadow brush from Real Techniques. And I'm gonna start by putting this on the lid. As you can see, these are intense. These are extreme full coverage concealers. So they will cover everything, obviously, if you're doing it on a person. But also, if you wanted to get any of these to use as eye bases, they will give you really full color, like without even trying. So as you can see, I just dabbed that one time, like I went in the palette one time and put that all over my eye, and you're getting a lot of color. So I'm just going to dab this on, and now I'm going to wipe my brush off, and then I'm just going to dab around the edges to start blending this out. So then I am going to take the shade here, which is light brown. So I'm going to take this one right here, and on a MAC 286, I'm just going to use this to buff out the edges of the dark brown color and kind of just warm up the edges of my eye. I'm going to go back in with the brown, the first dark brown we used, and start buffing that under my eye, and take a little bit more of light brown and layer that on top just to add a little warmth and buff this down a little bit. All right, so I'm now going to go in with the MAC 240S, which is a giant blending brush, and I'm going to take the shade Accentuate from my contour palette, which is the end shade, and I'm going to put this under my brow and kind of overlap the edges of the concealer. And then I'm also going to put this on the inner corner of my eye. I'm going to now use this palette for eyeshadow. So I'm basically just going to do some powders on top of these to set everything. So after Accentuate, I'm going to take the shade Bone Beige at the corner. And with the same brush, I'm just going to start buffing that in the crease. Okay, so I'm now taking Brown Script deeper in the crease. And as you can see, I'm not being like super precise. I'm just kind of like, you know, blowing it out everywhere. Don't know why I just made a fart noise. And then taking I'm Into It from MAC and putting that more so on the outer half of the lid, and then just sort of buffing that again into everything else. And then under the eye, I'm going to take the same shade. So first Bone Beige right underneath to blend, then Brown Script right after that one, and then finally I'm Into It more so on the outer part. This is kind of like the easiest eyeshadow look ever. So for liner, I'm gonna use my favorite pencil liner, which is the Esqido gel liner pencil. And this is the black one. And I'm just gonna put that on my waterline to deepen up and intensify this look. And then I'm just gonna use my fingers to kind of blend that in. And then I'm also gonna tight line with this as well. And then for a fun pop, I'm just going to take Beam Time Dazzleshadow Liquid from MAC. And I'm going to put this on the inner part of the lid just a little bit first. I'm going to dab it with my finger because I don't want like a cut crease or anything. This is just going to be a pop of shimmer. So I'm just wanting to fade that into the shadow look we have down. And then going in with just a little more to give the most pop there right on the lid. Alrighty, so really quickly I'm going to put on some mascara. I'm using the MAC False Lashes Maximizer Primer Mascara, which is my favorite. And then topping that off with MAC in Extreme Dimension Mascara, which is also my favorite mascara. So I'm going to do that really quick, and then I'm going to do the other eye, and I'll be right back with the magic of editing. Alright, so I just finished. Like I said, I did my mascara, I did this eye, I did my eyebrows, and for that I used my MAC Shape and Shade Brow Tint, which is my absolute favorite brow product. And then I also put, because I realized that I forgot to do highlighter, so I took my MAC Hyper Real Glow highlighter palette. This is the Flash and Awe palette, and I used the darkest shade at the end, and I used that to highlight my cheekbones, the center of my face, basically my entire face. And then I also used that in the inner corner of my eye to highlight my inner corner. So that is done. I did put on just a little bit more of my Bone Beige and a little bit of Sculpt. I added that to my cheek because I felt like with the eyes done, it was really dark. I needed just a little more color in my cheek. So I did that, and now we're going to move on to the lip really quick. Obviously, this is not the studio line for our lip. We're just going to do a matching monochromatic lip. So I'm going to use the MAC Stripdown Lip Pencil with the MAC Naturally Transformed Lipstick. And because Stripdown is just a little dark for me right now, I'm just going to take my foundation brush with no extra product on it, and I'm just going to dab over my lips to lighten the liner just a little bit. And that's also neutralizing it so it's a little less warm. And then we're going to go in with our lipstick. And just because this lip is just a little too brown for me, I'm going to take Myth, which I've been using a lot lately, and I'm just going to use this right in the center just to give it a little more life. Alright guys, so we are finished with the makeup look, and now I'm going to just talk really quickly about how I feel about everything that I tried. So I'm going to start out with the Studio Fix fluid. Again, this didn't change at all. This isn't new, so there's not really much to say other than I really, really love that they added so many colors, and now there's just like an extreme, insane amount of colors. So pretty much basically everyone should be able to find a color now in Studio Fix. In case you're wondering, oh, this hair looks so messed up. In case you're wondering what exactly is Studio Fix, what does it do? Studio Fix is a medium to full coverage natural matte foundation. It does have oil control properties to it. It gives an extremely flawless look to your skin. It does have a 24-hour wear claim. With that claim, I think when people think 24-hour wear claim, they think it's going to look the same for 24 hours. That's not what it means. It means it's going to stay on for 24 hours. Does that mean all of it is going to stay on for 24 hours? No. That means within a 24-hour time frame, by the end of 24 hours, you will still have some makeup on. That's how I personally feel what that 24-hour claim means, whether it's MAC or any other brand. So, like I said, it's definitely, this is long wearing for sure, like your regular average day, but like, it's not bulletproof. Nothing is like ever not going to come off, but it definitely does stay on really long. Gives a very full coverage, beautiful finish. I really love that foundation. Alrighty, so next, highly anticipated concealer. What do I think? I really like it. I'm going to go against the grain here, I feel like, as I usually do, and say that I actually really like it. It looks like any other concealer I wear. It's not more creasy, more dry looking, more anything. It's a really great medium to full coverage concealer. Looks great. Doesn't make me look old or crusty or dusty. It looks really good. The real test will obviously be how long it stays on, but I'm not going to wear makeup for a whole 24 hours, so who knows, you know, if it's ever going to stay on for 24 hours. Someone out there maybe will eventually do an actual 24-hour wear test, but that will not be me. But yeah, I think it looks really nice. I think it blended out super easy. It looks very smooth. I like that it's not hella dry. Like Tarte Shape Tape is like one thing that like I love so much, but it's so freaking dry that my under eyes feel like they look like ball sacks or something. Like, it's terrible. And I like that this is not dry. Like when I blended this on, it wasn't super shiny, like I said, but it wasn't super dry either. It's like a great natural in the middle kind of texture to it, and it ended up setting really nice. Everything blended on top of it really nice. So I personally really like it, and I really like that there are a lot of different shades. I also really like, thank the MAC gods, that it is a doe foot applicator. It's prolonger is one of those love-hate things because it's so nice, but it's so annoying with the freaking pump, and then you can't ever get that last little bit, and it's super annoying. So I'm glad they went to a doe foot because it's amazing, very easy to apply. As far as this palette goes, I think you guys know how I feel about this. It's great, it works super good. So yeah, I do think this is super great. These work just as good as the regular Pro Palette pans. Like I said, there was like the tiniest bit more fallout, but nothing insane or anything like that. And again, I love the colors they chose specifically for this palette. The other palette, I love the undertones. I love the colors they chose. They work very nicely in my opinion, so that is great. I also really love this updated packaging with like the big names on the front. It's so like obvious, you know, what colors are which in the palette with the names here. I like that a lot. They did have like this little plastic thing inside with the names on it, and it came out, which is so annoying, but I just threw that away, and it's just kind of obvious from top to bottom, left to right, like you'll know the colors. So love that. As far as the concealer palette goes, it's amazing. I can't wait to actually use this on deeper clients and apply it to their face, but just touching them and feeling them, they're the same exact consistency as the regular Studio Conceal and Correct palettes. Very full coverage, very creamy, very blendable, like they blend super easy, and the color shade range in here is sickening and it's amazing. I love these. I love the undertones of everything. I love this one right here. I used this the other day for an eyeshadow base, and it's like, oh my god, this amazing like dark terracotta red kind of color. It's fabulous. So this is like another A++ product for me. Works extremely well. As an eyeshadow base, keep in mind it is a creamy concealer, so it may crease more than like a regular eyeshadow base, but I don't mind that. I think it's okay, and if you put a little bit of primer underneath, you wouldn't have a problem at all. Alrighty guys, so that is everything. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was helpful, and yeah, that's kind of it. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.